Bonnie Aarons was struck with an immense sense of grief when she learned of the passing of Lorna Raver at the age of 81. Raver, whose death occurred on May 12, 2025, had her passing formally announced in the In Memoriam section of SAG-AFTRA's Summer 2025 magazine, People.com, EW.com, and TheGuardian.com. For Aarons, the news was more than a piece of industry information. It was the loss of a fellow performer whose talent had left a deep impression on her, both as a colleague in Hollywood and as an artist who understood the power of transformative acting. The cause of Raver's death remains unknown, and while this absence of detail leaves questions, Aarons has chosen to focus her attention on remembering and celebrating the life and work of the woman she admired. Lorna Raver's career was distinguished by her remarkable range and her ability to inhabit roles with absolute conviction. Her portrayal of Mrs. Sylvia Ganesh in Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell, 2009, is still regarded as one of the most memorable horror performances of the modern era. Raver played the role with a level of dedication that elevated the film from a standard supernatural thriller into a work of art recognized by both fans and critics. Aarons, who has herself portrayed some of the most chilling horror figures in recent years, including the demon nun Valak in The Conjuring 2 and The Nun, has often cited Raver's work as a high watermark in the genre. She admired how Raver made Mrs. Ganesh both terrifying and tragic, blending grotesque physicality with human vulnerability that made the curse at the heart of the film far more than a gimmick. For Bonnie Aarons, the connection to Lorna Raver was rooted not just in shared genre territory, but in a shared understanding of what it means to commit entirely to a role. Raver never shied away from physical transformation, elaborate prosthetics, or the discomfort that comes with playing extreme characters. Aarons has spoken in past interviews about how challenging it is to perform under layers of makeup or in physically demanding scenes, and she recognized in Raver's work the same endurance and passion that she herself brings to her roles. Watching Raver in Drag Me to Hell, Aarons saw a fellow performer who embraced the discomfort as part of the art, turning it into a powerful tool for storytelling. In private, Aarons revisited Raver's filmography, starting with her celebrated work in Drag Me to Hell and moving through her television career, which included appearances in The Young and the Restless, Grey's Anatomy, Bones, One Tree Hill, Weeds, and NYPD Blue. She also thought about Raver's extensive stage work, which earned her critical acclaim in productions such as The Seagull, Spinning into Butter, The Women, and Utopus Rex. Aarons admired how Raver had excelled in every medium she pursued: film, television, stage, and even audiobook narration, proving that true acting skill transcends format. The two women shared more than a genre, they shared a certain fearlessness. In a conversation with a fellow actor after Raver's passing, Aarons reportedly remarked that Raver was the kind of actress who gives other actresses permission to go further. By this, she meant that Raver's total commitment to her roles gave others the courage to explore characters without worrying about vanity or conventional beauty standards. Aarons recognized that it takes a special kind of bravery to fully inhabit a role that asks the actor to be grotesque, unlikable, or morally ambiguous, and she believed Raver exemplified that bravery throughout her career. The fact that Raver's cause of death has not been disclosed did not change Aarons's approach to mourning. She respected the privacy of Raver's family and avoided speculation. Instead, she channeled her grief into conversations about Raver's artistry, encouraging fans and colleagues to revisit her work. She stressed the importance of remembering Raver not for the mystery surrounding her passing, but for the legacy she left behind. Aarons knew that while the cause of death might fade from public interest, the impact of a great performance can live on indefinitely. Bonnie Aarons also saw Raver's death as a reminder of the fleeting nature of careers. Raver retired from acting in 2014 after decades of steady work. Many fans might not have realized she had stepped away from the industry until her passing was announced. Aarons reflected on how easy it is for actors, especially those not constantly in the spotlight, to slip from public memory, even if their work has made a lasting impression. This reality only deepened her determination to honor Raver's career and ensure that new generations of actors and film lovers knew her name. In remembering Raver, Aarons was drawn to the active remembrance. She reportedly spoke with friends in the horror community about organizing informal screenings of Drag Me to Hell as a tribute to Raver. She also encouraged horror conventions and fan groups to highlight Raver's work in panel discussions, noting that she was a performer who deserved to be celebrated alongside other genre icons. While Aarons has built her career largely in horror, she understands that the genre's legacy depends on preserving the memory of those who came before. For Aarons, the loss of Lorna Raver is personal, professional, and symbolic. Personally, it is the loss of a fellow artist whose work she admired deeply. Professionally, it is the loss of a peer who raised the standard for horror performances. Symbolically, it is a reminder that great actors are not immortal and that their legacies must be actively preserved. Aarons knows that while audiences may remember the jump scares or shocking moments from Drag Me to Hell, it is Raver's performance, the eyes, the gestures, the way she could command a scene, that made the film unforgettable. In the weeks following the announcement of Raver's death, Aarons continued to share her admiration for the wet actress in conversations with fans and colleagues. She emphasized that Lorna Raver's influence extended beyond a single film, reaching into the broader world of performance where dedication, risk-taking, and authenticity define the best actors. While Bonnie Aarons did not issue a formal public statement, her private tributes and personal actions speak volumes about the respect and sorrow she feels. Ultimately, Bonnie Aarons is determined to carry forward the lessons she has drawn from Lorna Raver's career. She will continue to push herself into uncomfortable territory, to embrace the unglamorous aspects of her roles, and to value the truth of a performance above all else, just as Raver did. While Lorna Raver's life came to an end on May 12, 2025, and the cause of her death remains undisclosed, her influence will remain in the performances of those she inspired. For Aarons, that influence is both a comfort in mourning and a challenge to live up to the standard Raver set. Her passing, announced quietly in the pages of SAG-AFTRA's Summer 2025 In Memoriam section, may not have made headlines for long, but for Bonnie Aarons, the memory of Lorna Raver
the transformative power of storytelling, she began her journey at the Hedgerow Theatre, a respected repertory company outside Philadelphia, where she learned the fundamentals of stagecraft, ensemble work, and the emotional honesty required for live performance. Those formative years gave her a foundation that would serve her through the highs and lows of a long career. Her early work was rooted in stage acting, which she approached with seriousness and discipline. In her youth, she moved to New York City, where she took on a variety of roles in off-Broadway productions. These were not glamorous, high-paying jobs, but they gave her the opportunity to refine her craft and gain the respect of fellow actors. She performed in plays such as Last Days at the Dixie Girl Cafe and Between Daylight and Boonville, which, while not blockbuster hits, allowed her to showcase her range and ability to breathe life into complex regional theatre productions across the country, taking on both classic and contemporary roles. Her stage work was marked by her versatility, moving from Chekhov to modern dramas with ease, and her ability to fully disappear into her characters. Despite her success in theatre, Raver faced the same challenges that many stage actors encounter: limited financial stability, unpredictable work opportunities, and the constant pressure to find the next role. This instability pushed her to explore other avenues, leading her to relocate to Los Angeles, where she began auditioning for television and film. The transition to screen work was not immediate or easy. She took on guest spots and small recurring roles on television shows, sometimes appearing in a single episode, other times returning as a background or secondary character. These were not marquee roles, but they were steady work and slowly built her reputation as a dependable character actress. Her television credits expanded to include appearances on Beverly Hills 90210, The Practice, Felicity, Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman, Boston Legal, Grey's Anatomy, NYPD Blue, Bones, One Tree Hill, Weeds, Star Trek Voyager, CSI, Ally McBeal, and Desperate Housewives. She also took on a recurring role in The Young and the Restless as Rebecca Kaplan, which gave her a more stable presence on screen and connected her to daytime television audiences. For much of her career, Raver's path could be described as one of steady, if understated, progress. She did not achieve instant fame, nor did she land the kind of lead roles that make actors household names. Instead, she built a body of work that reflected endurance, skill, and the respect of those who worked with her. The turning point that brought her to wider public attention came in 2009 when she was cast as Mrs. Sylvia actresses for leading roles. Raver found herself returning to the dependable, if modest, rhythm of guest spots and supporting parts. While these roles did not match the intensity or visibility of Mrs. Ganush, she approached them with the same level of commitment, proving that her professionalism was unwavering, regardless of a project's size or prestige. By the early 2010s, Raver's career began to slow. She made her final film appearance in Rushlights in 2013 and retired from acting in 2014. The reasons for her retirement were never made public. While there were no confirmed reports of serious health problems, the decision to step away from the industry led some to speculate that health considerations, personal priorities, or a desire for a quieter life may have played a role. In her later years, she was largely absent from public life, rarely appearing at industry events or granting interviews. Raver was known to be a private person, keeping her personal life separate from her professional work. She did not frequently discuss her family, relationships, or home life in the media. Friends and colleagues described her as warm, intelligent, and deeply committed to her craft, but also as someone who valued her independence and personal boundaries. She preferred to let her performances speak for themselves rather than cultivating a public persona for fame's sake. Her ability to maintain that privacy in an industry that thrives on exposure was in many ways a testament to her character. She avoided the trappings of celebrity culture, focusing instead on her work and the satisfaction of delivering honest performances. Whether in a theatre production, a daytime soap, a primetime drama, or a feature film, she approached each role with discipline and care. In May 2025, Lorna Raver passed away at the age of 81. The announcement of her death came through the In Memoriam section of SAG-AFTRA's Summer 2025 magazine. The cause of death was not disclosed, in keeping with the privacy she maintained throughout her life. Her passing prompted an outpouring of appreciation from fans, horror enthusiasts, and fellow actors who remembered her not just for Drag Me to Hell, but for the decades of work that preceded it. Looking back on her career, Raver's path was not one of constant upward momentum, but rather of steady resilience. She navigated the unpredictable tides of the entertainment industry. Bonnie Aarons's grief transforms into a lasting commitment to keep Raver's artistry alive in the minds of fans, peers, and future performers. This isn't just the closing chapter of one actress's story, it's a reminder of how deeply one person's work can shape the creative paths of others. Though her cause of death remains unknown, what is certain is that Raver's legacy is secure in the hearts of those she inspired. Aarons's tribute ensures that audiences won't only remember a chilling performance in Drag Me to Hell, but also the fierce dedication and fearless artistry that defined Lorna Raver's career. And in that way, even in passing, she continues to haunt, in the most beautiful sense, the screens, stages, and memories she once graced.